You know, you react to answers, what do you want, and all that sort of thing. Put a tick in the box when it said they'd been in England at that period in their life when the CJD was rampant, and they'd had a blood transfusion for some illness they had. Well, the dentist immediately said, I can't take your tooth out, because if I do, I've got to destroy my instruments, and that'll be $6,000 worth of instruments. That person is still trying to find somewhere to get their tooth out because they were honest enough to own up that they're at risk of the prion. But we just take that for granted. So AQUIS and biosecurity, I mean, I've fought the battles against our own government, same lot of bureaucrats, on bananas, on the disgraceful episode at Emerald up here with the citrus canker and the mandarins, on the importation of prawns. I mean, chicken. Luckily enough, we got the code that allowed chicken meat to come in to be so tough it would have been like rubber duck. There are a range of those things that we're always fighting, and it's always based on, as Julian said, we are actually going into a global market. And you know, China and India especially, and the Arab states, they have an aggressive policy now to secure their destiny by managing their food task, and we absolutely have the opportunity in Australia to be as the most secure nation on the planet. Like per head of, they say Australia's the driest continent. Per head of population, we're number 5 in the world for water availability. It's just that we camp where there's the least water. 6.2% of Australia's runoff is in the Murray-Darling Basin. We do 73% of our water farming with 6.2% of the water. There's the 3 catchments of the north, the Timor catchment, the Gulf catchment, and the northeast catchment, is 64% of Australia's water. And Peter Beattie, when I was chairing the Traveston Dam inquiry, which is a shit of a site for a dam, I might say, for once in his life, Peter Garrett got it right. And by the way, he's also right, whether you like it or not, about that coal seam gas stuff. The coal seam gas water, the way that could alter the behaviour of the aquifer, drawing out the gas, which brings a lot of water out, is something that we really need to understand before we start playing around with the aquifer. And certainly down our way at Gunnedah, and there's a company down there looking to do that, and there's no understanding of how it's going to alter the pattern of behaviour of the aquifer underneath it. But anyhow, I mean, Peter Beattie said to me, oh, Bill, I said, why did you lock up Cape York Peninsula? You know, there's a lot of potential there. Mosaic, the Gilbert River up there at Georgetown, that was pegged out in 1957 as an irrigation area. It's never been really developed. He said, oh, Bill, we had to get the green preferences this was the election before last, in Brisbane. So I had to do a bloody deal with the Wilderness Society, and that's what we've done. And you wonder why Noel Pearson's going crook up there. I took the Select Committee on Agriculture to Cairns and took the evidence. And this is us wanting to rest on our laurels and retire to the coast, and she'll be right, just go to the supermarket and the tugger's there. And so I took the evidence. I mean, the Cape York Peninsula is the size of Victoria, 17.5 million hectares. If you take out coastal towns and cities, Cairns, Cooktown, Port Douglas, etc., there's 14,000 people, 12,000 of them Indigenous included, in an area the size of Victoria. There's 800,000 feral pigs, 20,000 feral cattle, there's 14 or 16 pastoral stations. The rest of it's either sit-down blackfella country or a national park. Now, the Indigenous people up there want to have an economic opportunity, and what have we done? We've locked up the first kilometre from all those rivers from any commercial activity. It's just bloody crazy. Well, now, when you see that against the background of 1.6 billion people possibly displaced, but just say it's only 10%, right, and there's only 160 million people looking for somewhere else to live, do you think they're going to worry about the Wild Rivers legislation if that's sitting up there empty? I mean, if you think these few boats that are coming in now are a problem, it's the tip of the iceberg. So it goes on right across the north. There's fantastic development opportunities, and we're all too bloody tired to do it. I mean, down in the Riverina where I live, everyone is spewing because they don't know whether it's a 5-year drought, a 10-year drought, a 50-year drought, or a 50,000-year drought. And, you know, the rice industry's gone. I nearly got my head blown off 5 years ago when I said any 50-year plan for the Murray-Darling Basin would exclude farro rice and paddy rice and farro cotton. But it's true. I mean, the rice industry's gone from an annual average of 1.2 or 3 million tonnes. This year they're expecting an exceptional harvest. They might get 200,000 tonnes, but they've been down to 28,000 tonnes, and that's because of the water. And as Julian said, the water and food is going to be what the future destiny is all about. Now, in the meantime, the cattle industry, which is, I reckon it's a bloody 30-year low, I don't know about a 20-year low, has got to survive. Now, one of the things that's against us in the cattle industry is we've just sat back and let bloody Coles and Woolies consolidate the market. I've been to Canada. The top 5 supermarkets there control 60% of the retail. The top 5 in the United States control 40%, and the top 2 here have got 80% of the prepackaged retail market. And then you see, without starting a blue here today, some of our industry leaders approving takeovers of abattoirs without naming the takeovers, because I don't want to get into a punch-up, which will further consolidate you've got consolidated retailing, now you're going to have consolidated processing, and that in turn will put impact on the trucks, because some of these people are going to say they're buying the trucks as well. Well, we'll buy your cattle as long as you use our trucks. So, you know, some of these big transport operators in Queensland are going to be in trouble. At the same time, you've got the Indonesians putting a 350 kilo limit on live export cattle into theirs that have now got to be individually weighed, not pen weighed, so that all the mature male cattle and cows have now got to be killed. And where have they got to be killed? You've got to bring them over here or take them to Narracort in South Australia, a 3-day trip. And what do they say? What do these fellas say? Oh, we can't give you a slot for 5 weeks. So you become a distressed seller because you're trying to muster in the dry season before the wet gets there, so down goes the price. You know, and some people think it's all right to further consolidate the processing market. Of course we need a couple of new bloody abattoirs, one in Darwin and one up there in the Kimberley somewhere. Of course we do. But we're too bloody tired to worry about it. You don't hear politicians talking about it. Julia Gillard made I'm a bit off the subject, aren't I? Julia Gillard made a speech yesterday at the press club, not one bloody sentence about agriculture or the bush, and she got put the question, she said, oh, well, they'd get a benefit from all the things we've announced. I mean, I think it's time we marched on Canberra. I said that to the NFF and the New South Wales farmers there a few months ago, and what did they do? And I disagreed with it. They had that bloke that was stuck up the pole down there at the end of the Brindabella Ranges, Peter Spencer, and used him as a bloody flag on a flagpole. It was the right flagpole with the wrong flag on it. His joint is all rocks and trees. It's shit country. And he wanted the right to clear it. It wouldn't have made any sense. It would have made sense to put a wind farm there. And why we got sucked into that, I mean, there is an absolute case for compensation for complying with the various regulations that we have to comply with, but you've got to pick the right bloody flag. And so there are a whole range of issues, and I think because we're taken for granted, because we're continually fighting the World Trade Organisation, we were going to bring, I blocked it, I chaired the committee, apples from New Zealand. The import risk analysis said that we would indeed bring fire blight into Australia in the coleoctly of the apple, but it wouldn't get out into the orchards. And I said, why would you take the bloody risk? We haven't got it. And they said, well, we're going to take you to the World Trade Organisation. I said, go for your life. I don't care. I mean, it's people power that'll block that. Well, they were going to sell the Snowy scheme. If they'd have done that at the time they were going to sell Qantas, it would have ended up down the bloody sewer. You know, it was just some smart bunch of bankers. And people power stopped that, and people power will fix returns for farmers. I mean, you can't absolutely overcome labour costs. And that's what Julian was referring to with, you know, grow the tucker where you can grow it the cheapest. But really it'll be grow the tucker where there is land and water that can do it. And obviously, in days gone by in Sydney, you know, there'd be a couple of chooks in every backyard.